Hello. So to discuss the cycle for a bit, right? Let's review the cycle because that is something that is absolute from narcissist to narcissist to narcissist, right? And one may handle the cycle differently because of course there's a spectrum of behavior with this narcissism, but the phases of the cycle will all be caused to you, I can't think of the word, by the narcissist. They go through a cycle. And the thing is, they feed on the very dramatic, traumatic nature of the phases of the cycle. They feed on it. They really do feed on it. And what I'd like you to know is, we don't want to feed the narcissist. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to give them what they want. I don't ever again want to give a narcissist what they want. And I've likened it before to, I don't have cats, I have Minnie, but cats, when you watch them play, they do this like with a toy. That's how I envision the narcissist with us. They're just playing with us like this. So let's start, right? And the people, especially that have been here a while, know. So they all come in with this love bombing, right? That's how they start. That's the word. They come on strong, fast, and hard. And they want to love you, and they're going to marry you, and they're going to take care of you. And you've heard things out of this person's mouth you've never heard before. And oh my God, the man of my dreams, the woman of my dreams. I've never heard anyone like this in my life. And you're not even past, the meal. You're on your date 1, date 3, okay? Feelings like that, I'm not saying I don't believe in love at first sight. I know couples that met and it was like that. But they talk about it in the past. In other words, they'll say, oh yeah, I knew right away. They didn't tell the person right away by the salad. They allowed it to unfold. They allowed their feelings to unfold. They allowed their mate to get to know them and feel the same way about them. They allowed things to happen naturally. Even if they were smitten, they didn't scare the person by telling them right away, hi, I'm smitten with you, and just never leaving them alone with words of affirmation and positivity. And we all want that, but my God, slow down. That's a red flag when they come at you that way. They like dramatic. The narcissist is going to come on like that because they like to see the effect they have on you to be like you're swooning, right? They like that. It's dramatic. It makes them feel big. Their ego is stroked because they're affecting you in this way. Because as they're telling you, they see you just melting and just falling for it. And they are getting a charge. They're thinking, oh, it's working. I really do detest being the one that brings this news to you, but it is the truth. They get a charge out of watching you fall for exactly what they're saying. So that's the first phase, right? Then comes the testing. They're going to start to test you just when you feel comfortable. So you start to believe them. They see that you start to believe them, right? Now they're going to test you. How? Well, they have little acts of transgression that they'll start doing. And, I've said this many, many times, and you'll hear me say it many, many more, because I truly believe this. The details don't matter, because what's an act of betrayal to you might be a different tolerance than what's an act of betrayal to me. The act might be different for your narcissist, what he did to you, than what mine did to me and the next person. So whether it's cheating or lying or whatever it is, it's an act of transgression. We know what that means. And then they'll test you. How mad are you going to get? What are you going to say? Are you going to say anything? Are you going to ignore it? Are you going to cause a fight? Are you going to go berserk? They start to test to see what they can get away with. And your reaction, especially if it's absolutely crazy and dramatic and you're upset and you're screaming and they get a charge out of that. Of course they do. It's called narcissistic supply. Okay? They need supply, and we are there. That's the word they use, and I detest that word because I don't like to think of us as supply. We're human beings, but that is how the narcissist sees us. So that's where the word comes, okay? So when they love bomb you, it's because they see you as a chance for new supply, they call it, right? Now in this testing phase, you blow up, you get all dramatic, you're fighting with them. They love it. That feeds them. That chaos feeds them. The fighting. That is what they were after. They love it. You're paying them mind. You're giving them attention. You look upset over something they did to you. They have power. That's obvious because you're upset and putting them through this and yelling and screaming and hollering and crying and upset. I know. You're thinking, what kind of person would get a charge out of that? A person with narcissistic personality disorder gets a charge out of that. I know, it's insidious, but it's what they do. So they see you going crazy, and it's feeding them this narcissistic supply, which they need. And now they're going to watch you claw your way and do anything you can. Once the fight's over, they're going to watch you claw your way back up to the love bombing. And they love that. Because you need that love bombing. It was so wonderful that you need to get back to it, and you know it exists. He showed it to you. Again, my pronoun's he. Yours is whatever. He showed it to you. You know it's there. Or you think it is. You think, well, that he can be that guy. I watched him be that guy for a month. Unfortunately, that was the false self that he put on to make you think he was that guy. This guy doing the bad things, that's their real person. Coming out to play finally. You're starting to see them. And the more comfortable they get in you being settled in your love bombing euphoria, the more that side's gonna come out. I got her. She's locked in. They're going to start acting out. And they're going to watch you claw your way back up. You will never, ever get back to that love bombing feeling again. Because once they start in on that testing you phase, shortly thereafter, they go right, the cycle brings them to what they call the devalue phase, right? Now it's flat out devaluing, and those acts are going to grow. And they're going to become more dramatic, and it's going to be lying and cheating and telling you you're crazy for thinking it, which is gaslighting, and we'll get to that definition if you don't know it. That means that they're going to tell you you're crazy for even thinking something. How dare you think I would do that? And you're looking at it. You know it. You have the receipts, as the kids say. They'll never admit it. They'll never take blame. They'll never take responsibility. They won't apologize. And if they do, it's to manipulate you into thinking that they are sorry so that they can get something back from you that they need. Maybe they don't want you to leave them yet. Maybe they're not ready for that. They don't have new supply lined up. They can't be alone. So now they have to backpedal and make everything okay. So my narcissist would say, I'm sorry, but he didn't mean it. You have to act sorry, right? You can't just say it, act it, right? There's a difference. So I'm not saying you might not hear the words. Anyone can muster up any words. They also told you I love you in love bombing, didn't they? They also told you I'll marry you. So they can come up with words. But how are they acting? How are they feeling? How are they behaving? How are they behaving? Are the acts that they're doing towards you acts of love? Right? Are the acts that they're doing towards you acts of people that look like they're sorry? My narcissist would apologize to me and be doing the act at the same time he was apologizing me for doing the act. Do you know what I mean? Like he's saying sorry for doing it, and he's carrying on a texting conversation 2 seconds later. Or during our fight, even. Oh, yeah. They're that duplicitous. And once you start to become devalued where it gets serious, that's when shortly thereafter they're going to discard you. That's the cycle. Now you may discard, I discarded mine before he could discard me. That causes tremendous narcissistic injury, they call it. They can't even handle the thought that you broke up with them. So now they're going to try to claw their way back to you. This is the further part of the cycle after the discard, whether it happens with you discarding them or them discarding you. After the cycle, what happens is they're going to try to claw their way back into you by, they call it hoovering, by never, it's like hoover after like a vacuum cleaner. They're going to try to suck you back in. They're going to come at you with phone calls, messages, emails, coming to your house, whatever. They're going to try to get you back. Why? If they discarded you, would they do that? Just to dump you again. Just to get a charge. That gives them the charge. That chaos gives them the charge. Oh, but I love you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll spend the rest of my life proving to you I don't even deserve you if you give me one more chance. Any of this sound familiar? They love that part. If they can control, they love control, right? So if they can get with all of those words, you to come around, their ego goes like through the roof. I got her again. They might play with you for a little bit, and then they'll discard you. They got to make sure they were the one. I caution you against that. If you got out with a clean break, don't let them back in. Do not. Do not. If you want to talk to them, you have some last words to say. You know, a lot of the advice is against that. But if you want to get your last word out, go right ahead. But do not allow them to come back in with the hoovering. More love bombing. It'll be thicker than ever, the things they come out with. Thicker than ever. Swearing on God, swearing on their mother's life, swearing on their children, swearing on, oh, my narcissist came in strong. God help him for the things that he swore on and was lying. Swore on things. Let's put it this way. I prayed for the people he swore on so that they didn't lose their life. That's how much he would try to come back in. And that is chaos they are needing. You're addicted to the love bombing because you really want that because it was unbelievably phenomenal. They're addicted to you as narcissistic supply. Meaning in the love bombing, you were new supply, and in the fighting and the chaos and all the devaluation, they're addicted to that. That chaotic, dramatic mess. And you might say, well, how? Why? Who would want that? This toxic individual wants that. They want it. They need it. They need it. They need the turmoil. They need the upheaval in their life. And if they don't get it, they're going to go out and find it. That's why the minute you're settled in the love bombing phase, they start to test you to see if they can get away with it. Because they're going to start to talk to other women, men, whichever, and they're going to start to try to see other people. They're going to start to lie to you. They're really going to try to stretch that boundary and see how far they can get, what they can get away with. And whatever you allow, your behavior will teach them. What you accept will teach them how to behave with you. I'm at the point now with everything that I've learned. I don't want the chaos of that cycle at all. And I will recognize it. Maybe not right away. Like I said before, like we all go through this learning curve. But I will, I think, catch on eventually. These are all red flags that happen in these relationships. And at some point, we have to stop stomping on these red flags, which is what I did, and pay attention to them and react. And I'm telling you right now, I'll shut it right down. And I have. I've put it to use, and I have shut things right down when I see it and smell it and sense it. Done. If you think about mistreating me in any way, I'm going to smell it, sense it, and I'm going to be done. I don't think that that's, pardon me, a way that people can be. I think I've seen it. I've seen couples that are just nice to each other. Imagine. There's a thought. They revere each other. They respect each other. They're good to each other. They talk well about each other behind each other's backs. Like a narcissist is going to talk bad about you while he's in a relationship with you to another, in my case, another woman. he would be trying to woo her. So of course he's downplaying our relationship, yet we were in a serious relationship according to him to me. It's an absolute cycle that they go through. And they go from person to person to person to person. So you will be new supply, then you will be old supply, then you will be X supply, and they'll move on to the next cycle with the next person. It is something they have to go through. They have to do it. And the devaluation that they go through, they have to do that too. You say, well, why can't they just stay happy? But they're not like us. They're not wired like us. They are broken people who are addicted to the chaos. So, just stay with us.